Hey there, today we're taking a look at another 10th anniversary Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S from Boss Fight Studios. As you can see, it is the Roman Legionary. I'm going to bring this box a bit closer because once again, look at this art. This art is so cool. I really like it. We're going to flip it around real quick, and it's the exact same people that's doing the Athena art from the last video, Loston Wallace and Steve Downer, and I still have not looked into them at all. There's a bio and a temporal log, and there's the cross sail back there. Still have Urali, I think that's how you pronounce the name. I'll know exactly how to pronounce that by the next video when I actually do that figure. But look at this, a Roman Legionary. This is right down my excitement wheelhouse right there. I can't wait to get this guy out. He looks really cool. That art's pretty awesome. Let's just do that. Let's get him out now. Here he is, and we'll start with the accessories, beginning with his helmet, and I believe this is called an Imperial Gallic helmet. You got the brush up on top and the side flaps. It's a pretty cool, iconic looking helmet. And we have the second head here. I'm not sure if this is the Imperial Gallic helmet with a mask or if it's actually a cavalry helmet. We have a long-weighted pilum, a gladius, a pugio, a scutum that has an easily usable handle on the back, and finally a Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S figure stand that has 4 different pegs on it so you can put him in all sorts of poses. I've got to say, this guy is just so awesome to look at. Let's slide his helmet on here. So now he's all helmeted up there so you can get ready and go to war if necessary. Go ahead and check out what the secondary head looks like. As soon as we pop this one off, there we go. I want to make sure that the neck peg comes out because the secondary head also has a ball joint in there as well. There we go. Pop that in there. So that's what he looks like with his secondary helmet. You could have legions, legions of this guy. With this mask, he's a maskless, faceless Roman warrior. You could have so many of these guys lined up with the shields in front of them and the pilums right there just standing on a shelf. Tell me that's not kind of a cool idea. I'm not huge into troop building. There's a few things I've troop built over the past, but this is somebody I would troop build. And just on a side note real quick, Big Bad Toy Store, I noticed the other day, was having a sale on these guys. They're like a little bit over $18, and I want some more. So, if any of you go out and buy some of these guys, don't, sell them out, because I'd like to grab a few as well. I'm just going to have to wait for a few days before I can do so. But yeah, these guys are cool. I really like them a lot. Gonna slide in the gladius there. Don't mess with Rome. Roar! I'm gonna slide the pugio right down. There we go. Right there into his side. The detailing is really nice, I think. I think this detailing is pretty cool. It's believable enough. I've got some Joy Toy Roman Legionnaires or Legions on the way, and we'll do some comparisons at some point in the future. How does boss fight stand up to Joy Toy? Ooh, look at this. He's got some pretty cool looking sandals as well. Shin guard armor. That's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and take this helmet back off. One thing I learned about this figure after taking him out of the package, and I'll tell you that in just a second. Apparently I can't make good sentences while hooking on a head. I don't know why. There we go. One thing I learned is that be careful. These shoulder pieces of armor could actually come off. You can unpeg them. They're very similar to like a Mythic Legion styling, if you're familiar with that brand. And I discovered once you pull that off, it's actually kind of difficult to put it back on. I had to heat the figure up to pop that thing on. It wasn't just wanting to go on by itself. But it's kind of cool. It does move a little bit, so if you want to raise up his arms, move that articulation up so he can do something like that, then the shoulder armor kind of moves up out of the way. It has a regular, typical boss fight studio articulation, hinge and rotation at the elbow, hinge and rotation at the wrist, hinge and rotation at the shoulder. If you want him to lean forward, his waist and torso articulation allows him to go about that far, whereas he can lean back about that far. Probably should go ahead and bring him a little bit further back so you get the full range, depth of what he's doing. If you want him to lean back on his ankles, you can go back about that far. I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit. If you want him to lean forward, he can go about like that right there. And then he's got the thigh swivel. If you want him to do the splits, well, he can't really do that because of the way he's designed, and he can't really sit. That's okay. These guys are meant to stand forever. They're supposed to stand and wait until it's time to attack. Ball joint for the head, as you saw. You can rotate his waist around, and he's got a double pin knee. And go back that far. It's just a really cool styling figure. Some people might say it's a little bit more on the cartoony side, but you know, I'm really okay with how they've designed this. I'm not going to get into the change in figure design through this waist area because I'm not a customizer, and I've said that before. I mean, there's a few times where I might do a lazy custom, I don't know, but I'm definitely not a regular customizer. Actually, yeah, let's do that real quick. Let's get this in the left hand. Oh, be careful. These ends, they are sharp. They'll poke you. You don't want to, like, you know, bloody yourself over an action figure, do you? I'm sure some of you might have, but don't admit it. It's kind of weird. I find this kind of weird. I'm sure this is how it's been designed. I haven't really looked into it too much about the handle portion, but it is kind of weird to think about. You're either holding it this way or you're holding it this way. You can't hold it that way, which makes so much more sense. So I think for the sake of actually him holding it, I'm going to have him hold it that way. Because then, you know, like gravity won't take over and it won't drop. Doesn't he look awesome? This is not just a toy. I mean, if I was a kid, this would be so much fun to play with, have a legion of legionaries. But there, he's at the ready. He's got his scutum. He's got, oh, he had his scutum. Dropped his scutum. Actually, one problem I've discovered now is this gets loose and a little bit weak. So I can't really do that. Huh. There we go. We're just going to do this. Stand him up, not move him around too much. I'm trying to get to where you can see his face. Low. There we go. Pretty close. There we go. He got his scutum and he's got his pilum. Look at that. He's leaning just a little bit, but that's all right. Let's do some height comparisons. So I brought in an Ultimate Spartan. This is, I think, like, it was a New Jersey Comic-Con exclusive. And just in case you notice, I'm going to just be honest right now, he's missing a hand because this shield is feeling so fragile that when I was trying to put the shield on his arm, it felt like these little tabs were going to break. So I had to take his hand off so I could slide it in there. I don't know if any of you can understand that feeling or not, but I don't want you to think like my figure was like missing something. But there's an Ultimate Spartan next to the Roman Legionary. And just because we've recently reviewed her, here's Athena next to the Roman Legionary. But yeah, I'm loving these figures so much. We'll pull Ultimate Start. There we go. Spartan is going away. Here we have our mythical altered beast right there for height-wise. I love this guy. I think this beast guy is so cool. I might have to get another one or two. Not really to troop build, but come on, mythical beasts in the ancient world. That was like a thing, right? Then here is a fresh Monkey Fiction, an Eagle Force hidden figure to kind of show you the height. So the Romans and the goddess, or the Roman and the goddess, just a little bit taller. I think it's the brushes that do it. The brushes make them taller. Here we have G.I. Joe modern era style Sergeant Stone. We have a Chicken Fried Toys Black Snake figure right there. We have a recent, I already forgot. This is the Knights of the Slice, right? Yeah. This is the Sea of Daggers guy, and I thought this was pretty cool to have his helmet with these guys. Actually, let's get this guy out of here. Put him here. This is like a futuristic knight pirate. He's like a knight pirate, maybe? And then a Fortnite figure. Don't you like I'm just smacking my figures around? Take that and that, but there's a Fortnite figure. And there we have the height comparison. There we go. So we have Roman Legionary and Athena, Goddess of Wisdom, last beams standing. I don't know. There we go. Such a cool. Oh, I can't wait. I really wish Boss Fight would make more of these types. I know they've made a bunch of things in the past, but some of that stuff is a little bit expensive, a little bit hard to get your hands on. These things are such a breath of fresh air, and I know they're starting to get all in on that 1/12 scale, but don't abandon us 1/18 scale, people. Please don't. I know you got Red Sonja coming out, and I've ordered her. I've actually ordered several of her, thinking that that body would make a pretty nice, base for multiple heads. We can get some multiple heads, toss them on there, because we don't get a lot of 1/18 female figures from these little boutique companies. And so I'm definitely grabbing several of her, and pretty much anything that's a 1/18 Boss Fight, I'm ordering as of right now. But yeah, these things are so cool. Thank you for stopping by and watching. I will see you in the next one.